Today we are going to meet one of the famous actors of Punjabi cinema who I think needs no introduction, Miss Hashneen Chauhan. She was one of the eminent guests at the annual Winter Carnival at DPS Patiala 2023-2024. Ma'am, can you recollect some memories of the time you spent in our school at the carnival?
First of all, thank you so much for having me here. And coming on to recollecting memories, I remember it was winters when I visited your school. And I think everybody has memories of their school back up in their mind, and they get refreshed whenever you go to an event as such. So when I went to your school, I was completely mesmerized, one, by the performances of those little toddlers performing so well. They were so cute. And second, I just felt like I was back in school. It felt so good because school days are the best days one can ever have. And I've had really beautiful days of my life during my school time period. So that day was really good.
That is very true. We are happy to converse with you today. We would be glad to know something that you can tell us about yourself or your growing years.
So growing up, I was always this child, who used to have tantrums that no, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to say this. But that was because I was always glued to the TV screen. So everything I did, I learned from the TV screen. So that's how I was so passionate about getting into the world of acting. So we were in Barnala, and I've spent all my life here in Punjab. So I've spent all my life, all my childhood in Barnala. So when anybody used to ask me, what do you want to become when you grow up, I couldn't say that I want to become an actor because I thought that it would raise question marks in everybody's head. What is she saying and all? But I knew it deep down in my heart that I want to pursue a field of acting. So I would just imitate anything that would go on the screen, and then do that in front of the mirror, and then take my mama's dupattas and tie a sari and do activities and things like that. So this initiated my passion towards acting and towards the world of art, which I learned about in depth later on. But this was just the initial flames of it.
What initially inspired you to pursue a career in this field? What was the deciding factor that you chose to pursue this profession? How did you get started in the industry?
It was very natural, as I told you, because I used to watch TV and I used to get fascinated with all the glitz and glamour of it. And I thought, this is what I want to do. Because when you're growing up, there's this habit, everybody asks you, okay, what do you want to do? What will you become? This question is like the most popular question. So I always knew it because I was just inspired by that. It just came naturally to me. But I was also a very studious person because when I was there in my school, I always used to top my class. So my parents thought, maybe she'd become an IAS, or maybe she would get into she would become a doctor or get into engineering. And also I was very ambitious. I think all these things, they come naturally to you. Nobody can really tell you to do this particular thing. So it has to come naturally. And being ambitious, I always thought, I had to lead. I had to be the first one. So doing that, when I was in my classes, when I used to get appreciated from my teachers, then I thought maybe, maybe I could pursue studies as well. So it was very difficult for me to tell to my parents that I want to pursue a career in acting. But later on, I realized that one day or the other I have to. And my passion grew very strongly when I learned about the reality of art, like what art, the meaning of art, the actual meaning of the essence of art that it holds in my life. Because I realized that when I am working in my field, when I am doing a project, or when I am immersed into a character, then I realize how deeply that affects the essence of my own life. So I feel very passionate and very immersed into whatever I'm doing. So I never have ever felt wrong or misplaced in the field that I am. So I think it was a nature's call. So there wasn't any particular incident as such.
And we're happy to see you as a successful actor today also. And can you share some memorable experiences, be it from the set or some challenges you faced while preparing for a particular role?
So I don't have any one particular memorable incident as such, but all I can tell you about is my initial days. So I did not know how to pursue the field of acting. All my friends, they opted to go to abroad after we'd completed our graduation. So my father was like, I don't want my children to go to abroad. Whatever you want to pursue in life, you should pursue it. You have complete freedom of doing whatever you want to, but you have to be by our side. I want you to stay with us. So at that time, I thought that now is the time I might as well at least tell them, if I have to stay here, that I want to pursue a career in acting. So I thought, okay, I'll do it. So my father told me that, okay, you can do that, but complete your education. Do not leave your education in between. Try side by side if that's a possibility. We do not have a background as such, but if a possibility arises, well and good. So I thought, okay, then I might as well start with pageants. So I went in for Miss Punjab. I was the first runner-up in the pageant of Miss Punjab in 2017. And from there, I got my first web series, which was Yaar Jigri Kasuti Degree. So telling about the experiences of shooting in the acting world, I always had this idea, acting is going to be fun, because this is the notion we have when we watch things on screen. The people are laughing, they're doing their work very cheerfully and everything. But it was nothing like that. So on the very first day of my shoot, I could not sleep. I did not get enough food to eat. And I was like, this is so difficult, and it was so boring, because my shot was after three hours after somebody else's shot. So I gave one shot, then it was somebody else's shot, and then I had to wait for another 3 hours for my shot. So it was very boring. And then at that time, on the very first day of the shoot, I thought to myself, okay, this is not going to be fun. This is not going to be easy. It requires patience. It requires hard work. And I actually started crying on the first day of my shoot. But then my mom told me, you chose it. You're not supposed to cry now. You have to do it. So then, and then later on you get accustomed to it. Now I'm totally accustomed. Okay, I know that this much time, it is gonna take this much time. It is gonna take this much effort, and you have to be prepared for it. So now I enjoy every bit of it.
As a student aspiring to become an actor, what advice would you give regarding training, auditioning, and to become a successful actor in this generation?
So, if you're talking about this generation specifically, right? Earlier, everybody had this notion, if you're doing theatre, then probably you have higher chances of getting into the world of cinema. But I believe theatre and cinema are two very different things. Theatre will definitely polish you as an actor. Theatre will definitely help you understand art better. But to be an actor in this generation for cinema, I think you have to learn camera acting for sure, because there's a lot of difference between for acting on stage and for acting in front of the camera. So you have to learn. I think if you get enrolled into a proper acting course, that would be better. If you keep attending workshops. So number one is polishing your skills for sure. So see, everybody, even from my own experience, I realize people get attracted to the world of cinema because of the glitz and glamour and the charm of it. But you need to understand the field really well to pursue it for lifelong, because it doesn't come with a security for providing you bread for an entire life. So you have to understand the resources you have on your side, and as the level where you're standing as an actor, and how much further and how much time, effort and finances you can give to the field to level up yourself in the game. So I think understanding all these dynamics is very important in this generation. And also now this generation, it's a world of social media. So if you really think that you've already worked on yourself, you've polished your skills, you're ready as an actor, then grow your social media, let the world know that you have this particular talent and you're good at it. And social media has made it very easy for actors to get noticed. which is a blessing as well. So I think, and three, very importantly, understand yourself and understand the field, not just for acting, for any field, whichever you want to choose. I think you really should understand, okay, this is the kind of person I am, this is my talent, this is what I am good at, and this is the field I am choosing, and these are the requirements of that field. So I think understanding all of that is very important. You should not just blindly step into something, because growing up, this is very important for young people to know, because you're very passionate at a certain age, when you're in college or when you're in school, that I have to do this somehow and somehow, and parents tell you that no, this is not meant for you and everything. So I think there should always be a balance. Everything that your parents say is not entirely wrong and not entirely right also, and everything you think is also not entirely wrong and right. So understanding the dynamics is very important, and taking calculated risk is also important. You can take risk, but always be calculative in it. So, and rest, if you're passionate, just go for it, but really do work on yourself first. Be really good at your own skills.
I think this guidance would be very beneficial to many. In your opinion, what are the key qualities or skills that require to become a successful actor in this competitive field?
I think there are, of course, many key qualities that are required. Discipline being at the topmost of it. So this is gonna go a little longer. Sorry. So if I have to just note down the qualities, see, we all know, okay, discipline is required, hard work is required, okay, then working on your skills is required. Everybody has their own USP. Somebody is good at humor, somebody is good at mimicry, somebody is good at articulation, somebody is just good at making expressions. So you should know your niche, whichever your niche is. Take a focus on your niche and do not try to copy anybody. Just do things being completely original, and do things that naturally come to you. But apart from that, as you said, that what do you think are the key qualities that are the distinctive qualities that are required at this time particularly? So see, cinema keeps changing from time to time, and the kind of films we had in 90s and the kind of acting we had in 90s, we do not have those kind of films and that kind of acting nowadays. So understanding that is also very important. So at times, what happens is, there are many talented actors, and even we as actors feel that the kind of content that is being made is not up to the mark. So sometimes it's not just that the talent needs to furnish itself more. Sometimes what happens is, the kind of content that is being made is also not up to the mark. So why does that happen is because cinema or filmmaking is not a one person's job. We're just actors, okay, but we are going to act on somebody else's script. So there are n number of writers. They also need to work upon themselves. So if there will be a good script, only then good performances will come out. If there will be good directors, only then good performances will come out. If there are good producers, only then the cinematic quality and the aesthetics of the film can be increased. So cinema is actually a teamwork, and everybody who is stepping into the world of cinema, I really feel that you have to be very responsible for your work. Also, this is although not related to the question that you've asked me. See, cinema is getting socially acceptable day by day. It wasn't as acceptable earlier. So I really feel this from the core of my heart, that it is everybody's responsibility to make it an even more respected and dignified field. So even for that is also one of the key qualities. As an actor, I think, yes, you have to keep your conduct also in a way that it is presentable to people at all times. Even same for audiences also. This is a key quality that is required for audience as well, that you have to choose the kind of films you go to watch in cinemas, only because when good films are watched by people, then more good films will be made. When idiotic films are watched by people, then only idiotic films will be made. So I think it's everybody's responsibility. It's not just one person's job.
That is true. Did you take any formal acting classes, or do you just suggest the generation or the people that are watching that they should, if they want to become an actor, they should take formal acting classes?
Yeah, actually, so as I told you, I was pursuing my studies when my father told me that okay, you can try side by side. So after I completed my masters, I went in for theatre for about 1 year, and it was at the same time when I was participating in pageants also, and when I got my web series also. So all of this came together. Sorry. But if in today's generation, if anybody has to furnish their skills in acting, I think they should definitely do theatre as well. But along with that, do workshops as well. So these days there are many workshops that are being conducted. You know, it's lesser here in Chandigarh, Mohali side, but more towards the south side as you go. There are many workshops in Delhi, in Bombay, in Pondicherry, and lot many workshops in south. So I think anybody who aspires to be an actor definitely has to enroll themselves in the acting related courses so that they understand the field, the filmmaking and art better.
What do you think the biggest misconception about actors is?
Misconception about actors. I think people think that, you know, actors or celebrities are very different from them, you know, that they are people from some other planet. I think this is a very big misconception because because when we were young, you know, actors were not accessible to us. We would just see them on the big screen. Shah Rukh Khan, Salman Khan, Amir Khan, you know, they were like these such big, huge names, like somebody who's just out of the world, you know, people would die to have a sight of them, and they still do. But nowadays, this has changed. So nowadays, see, earlier there was just one camera that would, you know, film the actor and put them on the screen. Nowadays, you have camera in your pocket. Everybody is like visible to everybody these days. So this conception time has also changed it, and it is also getting changed in the minds of people that, you know, actors are also any other normal working human being, just like a doctor is, an engineer is, or anybody else is. So they're not aliens or you know, just they don't really need to be treated very differently. I personally do not like the hype of keeping actors on a pedestal as well. I think you should just respect them for the work that they're doing. You really don't have to keep them on a pedestal also, so that, you know, that he or she is a very famous person as such. You should respect them for the work. They can be famous and still be treated as normal human beings as well. So yeah, they also live life almost in the same way as other people do. So and seriously, if you interact with more actors and more people, you get to know they're just like you. There isn't a very big difference between a normal person and an actor as such.
And I'm glad to see you today. If not acting, what profession would you have gone for, or you very little were interested in?
If not acting, then I think I would have been in journalism, because I was always interested in the creative field, not news journalism as such, but maybe fashion journalism or travel journalism, because I always wanted to be on a field job, you know, traveling and seeing the world, interacting with people. So yeah, probably that.
Can you tell us about something about your upcoming projects or roles you're particularly excited about?
So in my upcoming projects, I have 3 films that they've already been shot. They're going to get released this year, and 3 of them are based on very different concepts. So the title of one of them is Brown Babe. So that is based on a group of old generation of men who are living in abroad, and a tenant comes to live with them, who's a blogger, and she covers up their life. And the another one is Kalire. It's a mother-daughter story. And the third film is Punjab Files. It's based upon the history of Punjab. So these films are the upcoming projects that I have, and I have huge hopes from them. So let's see how it goes.
And we'll be happy to see you in the theaters soon. We are so glad to meet. I'm so glad to meet you today, and we are so glad that you have given us this time so that I could conduct this interview with you today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to meet you as well. You're a very cute and sweet child.
Thank
I
you
wish
so
you all the
much.
very best for your
Thank you
future.
so much.